Welcome to Storm King's Thunder. We will be picking up where we left off last week. If you missed last week, Pyrex soloed a female adult white dragon. That was pretty epic. But before we get started, we would like to thank a friend of the Greenwater Guildhall. It should be noted that none of these are sponsorships or partnerships of any kind. These are just products that we really, really like. And today we would like to thank Fable Beard Company. They make beard products such as oils, balms, butters, and co-wash. They do have a full line of deodorant now and spray-on colognes. And each of their scent profiles is a different fantasy character. Today I am wearing Dr. Wolf Beard Butter, which smells of blueberries and tobacco. But I'm sure that they have a scent that would be suitable for your needs. If you're a first-time purchaser, actually, if you go to fablebeardco.com and create an account, they do have a buy one, get one free option. Put 2 beard oils into your cart, or a beard product and a beard oil. And if you use the code FIRST in all capital letters, that second beard oil will be discounted to free. If you're a fan of our Wednesday night Traveler game, we do have a website for that game via Obsidian Portal. The adventure log on that game is written in the manner of Traveler News Service news articles, and it deals with what's going on all across the Trojan Reach, with the occasional filter in from outside, such as the Spinward marches coming in. But as the characters become more and more notorious in their acts of piracy and ridiculous shenanigans, they are coming to be more and more front page news. If you like the content, go to the front page and give us a thumbs up. We do like to see those fan likes, and we hope you enjoy. So, where we left off last week, you guys were trying to. So you learned that Jarl Storvald of the Frost Giants. This is a iceberg that you're on, called Svartborg, and it is an ancient lair of the Frost Giants, dating back to the ancient giant kingdom of Astoria. That it's so old that most of the longhouses and whatnot have been overgrown by the ice and snow, and Jarl Storvald has come and is attempting to excavate this frost giant hold. And in the process, he took several Northland barbarian tribes as slaves. He has Yetis. And he actually, when they showed up, there were 2 white dragons, a mated pair. And Storvald basically took control and captured the white dragons, and the way that he did that was by capturing their eggs and holding them hostage. And so the white dragons wouldn't do anything while their eggs were in danger. And Storvald has left and gone on a whaling trip aboard his extremely large longship called the Korgvind. And you know that strapped to the deck of the Korgvind is the male half of the mated pair, the male white dragon. And you had learned that the eggs somewhere are being kept on the island. You knew that the female white dragon was being kept in the temple, and it was your assumption that that must be where the eggs are as well. You learned after the fact that the eggs weren't there, but in your process of trying to sneak to the temple, the Frost Giants saw you, and the shit hit the fan, and the Frost Giants that were guarding the female white dragon, Isendraug, came out of the temple to deal with this, what had become a major battle. And Isendraug used that opportunity to bust free of the temple and figured that she would just say screw it and kill everybody and take her eggs back. Well, that didn't work out for her because one of the slaves that had been taken, Hyrex, a dwarf from Icewind Dale, broke free of his bonds in the ensuing conflict and basically took on Isendraug and a frost giant in one-on-one combat. The frost giant ended up killing Isendraug by cutting off her head, and so that's where we left off. The rest of you, as you were running back to your cloud giant castle, on the horizon, getting closer every minute, you could see the Korgvind making its way back to Storvald. So that's where we are in a nutshell. And we're going to go all the way up here to where Steve the Devil is. Steve, what would you like to do?
So from where I'm at, I can see the ship coming.
From where you're at, yeah, I would say that you could see the Korgvind on the horizon. I mean, it's moving. It's extremely big. It's at full sail. You estimate that in your head at the speed that it's moving, and when I say that you see it, you know, so the way the ocean right now is very choppy because Zinquinel had used shape water twice to essentially cause. So I wouldn't go so far as to say tidal waves, but some very rough seas that turned out to be bad for the slaves in the bay, and so the swells are quite large as they feed out of the bay, and so when the swell goes down, you see the ship on the horizon, and the swell goes up, and you even at your height, you don't see it. That's how big these swells are as they move out. And then it goes back down, and you're like, oh shit, that boat's a little bit closer. I mean, you can visibly see that it's closer. So it is moving. So yeah. And some of these swells, as they get out, you know, probably a mile from Storvald, these swells are eye level with you, and you're up like 50 feet above everything else. So these are not small swells, but the Korgvind doesn't seem to be having a problem. It's just busting through these swells.
All right, and the last enemy right now is the one frost giant, correct?
Correct.
Let's see.
And that frost giant is looking quite beautiful. He's like showered in dragon blood, and there's just a big red stain across the snow and ice over there.
All right, Steve will move to here, which should be a double movement.
Okay.
And that will be his turn for the moment. That's about all he can do.
Okay. And then we'll go down here. What would Clitaris like to do?
I imagine from her height, she can't see the boat, correct?
When the swells go down, she can see, occasionally can see the Korgvind cresting a swell. So yeah, they're aware that it's there, that it's coming.
She will use her double dash action and get to there. So I imagine that more or less we're still trying to meet up. So everybody's playing under that same assumption.
Yes. Yeah, everybody, last I heard, everybody was running for the Cloud Giant Castle, the stairs of which, the Cloud Stairs, are docked here.
Yep, so that will be her movement for a bonus dash, regular move, and then a normal dash.
Okay. All right.
And that will be this one.
The Frost Giant is going to dash across the rooftop to here. And because he's dashed, that's all he can do. So, Smokey, you have made it to the base of the stairs of the Cloud Castle. What would you like to do?
I want to know if you have the stats for the giant crossbows on the Cloud Giant.
I do. They are ballista. Hold on here, I shall find it.
And if I need to like cast jump on myself to easily use it or something, or reload them, I might want to do that in the turn, depending on how it looks.
Okay. Here. Let's see here. So I guess they are just regular ballista. That doesn't sound right to me, though. But evidently it is correct, so yeah. It's not very often that we get to use siege engines. And 256. There we go. So it has a that's interesting. So it is a +6 to hit and does 3d10 piercing damage. And it has a range of 120/480. Before it can be fired, must be loaded and aimed. So those are two actions. Loading it is an action, aiming it is an action. On the third round, you can use your action to fire it.
Okay, so if we got a team up there,
So usually,
aim fire.
yeah, usually these things are manned by 3 to 4. And so one giant loads it, the second giant aims it, and the third giant fires it, meaning that it can be shot every other round. And the fourth giant is just there to hand arrows, I guess. I mean, he's the bat boy of giants. So by yourself, it would take, you would be able to fire it every 3 rounds.
Well, I'm gonna load one of them because I know the ship's coming. I'm gonna dash up there and load it, and I assume that's probably about all I can do in a turn.
Yeah. So, in fact, I would say that on this turn, with your dash, and this is really a stretch, but I will say that on this turn, with nothing but pure movement, you can reach the ballistas. On your next turn, you can load it.
Okie doke.
Okay. The valiant return of Scaly. What would Scaly like to do?
Question, is the boat coming an opponent or our backup?
So no, it is. So when they showed up here, there was basically just a skeleton crew guarding and continuing the work at Svordborg. Out on the ship, it's full of frost giants and the frost giant Jarl. They were out whaling, and an adult male white dragon. So.
And the skeleton crew here was quite a few people, so if that was a skeleton crew, there's a lot on that boat.
Right, and the Korgvind is even bigger than the usual frost giant longboat. This is an immensely huge longship.
How far out is it?
Well, when they first noticed it, it was out to the horizon line. It now appears that, and it's getting closer every time the swells allow you to see it. And so, I mean, at its size, because of its enormous sails, it's moving at like twice the rate of a regular ship. So this thing, I would say at this point, is maybe a mile out and getting closer every second.
Well, so I have a question for the team. I could fly out there and cast a wall of fire on the ship and hover in its vicinity as long as I can survive? Or should we all just pack up into the storm giant castle and prepare to defend it?
I'd say a little bit of column A and B once it gets within maybe a couple turns of us. Steve and you can both fly out because Steve's got some long-range fire attacks. We'll just bombard it with a little bit of fire to slow it down, maybe thin it out, then come back, and then we'll while everybody else preps for defense.
Okay.
How's that sound to everybody?
Sounds good to me. I will then fly my 50 feet away from accessible terrain. And let's see, I don't really have buff spells. And get ready for it to be in range, and I can retreat to the castle pretty readily on my broom. I could also polymorph into a killer whale and be in the ocean and bump the boat, but it's probably far bigger than a killer whale. They're out whaling, so being a whale might not be a great target.
Yeah.
Okay, I suppose that's all for now. Just want to take stock of what's coming in at us.
Okay. We are back to Steve the Devil. Kate and I had a Marvel movie night last night. We watched Eternals and then Spider-Man Far From Home. I especially like, as a teacher of science, I can tell you it's probably witches. Steve, are you muted?
Oh, sorry, I didn't catch that you said my name.
Oh, no.
Got your making notes.
Nope, it is your turn.
Well, let's see. Just for shits and giggles while we're waiting.
Also, for Jeff's edification, these two boats are not actually. This boat's still here, but it's crashed into the small dock here, and this boat has been moved and crashed into these docks. These docks are now splinters.
Alright, so Steve will fly his 30 feet there, which is within the 120-foot range of that guy.
All right.
We're going to a few Eldritch Blast at him, see if we can knock him off that roof for fun.
Okay.
Let's see. First one is going to be 21.
That's a hit.
For 8 damage,
Okay.
and we'll go ahead and pull him off. Pull him 10 feet.
Okay, so you're going to pull him. Okay. He's still on the roof.
I was hoping he'd slide off down into the hole. That's alright. We'll get him again. Second one's going to be a 15.
That is a hit.
Ooh, for 10 damage.
Okay.
And that is Steve's turn.
Can you pull him a second time or only once per turn?
Once per turn.
Once per turn. Well, I think it's once per spell. So if like I meta magic or action surge, I'd be able to do it a second time.
Correct. Yeah, that's correct. All right. Cletaris, who's actually stealthed.
I don't think at this point anybody even notices her.
Right. Yeah. Unless you have a passive perception of 22 or better, you do not see Cletaris.
Let's see. She can pretty much get to the base of the stairs.
Okay. All right. So she's at the base.
Yep, so her next turn she'll go up and start helping Smokey load launchers. Because she figures if we can load a few of them up before the ship gets here, we can just blast each one real quick. Prep them.
Right. Or you can at least help her load and aim. He's going to do that. And then... Okay. So, out on the ship, and of course you can't hear them or anything like that. The frost giants on the Korgvind start to notice that there are a couple of things. So, one thing they notice, of course, is that there is the remnants of a fireball. There's some smoke coming up from Svartborg. Like more smoke than would be from their normal fires, obviously. They notice that. The other thing that they notice is that there has been debris that is blown out on the waves, and it is now, making its way out towards them in the water, and they're seeing this wreckage. So,
Well, I'd imagine they're also seeing maybe a dead body or two. There's a lot of people in the water.
yeah, right. So they, Jarl Storvald, and he's going to be, let's see here, way the fuck out here. And that's not at all what I wanted. Jarl Storvald.
I'll be back in just a moment.
Okay. Find it. I've been quite busy with the assets, so. Here we go. Jarl Storvald unleashes the male dragon with orders to reconnoiter the the Berg. And Storvald has really no... he doesn't have any worries yet that Cryovain is going to turn against him. And the reason for that is that he has his eggs. And so Cryovain, just like Isendraug, was not a threat to the Frost Giants because they are being held hostage.
How's he gonna feel when he rolls up and sees his wife's corpse and
Yeah,
covered in her blood?
that's going to be an issue. So that's what the Frost Giants do, and Cryovain, acting on also on 11, evidently, flies this far. This is as far as he gets. The Korgvind is still just off the map, but I mean, at dash, Cryovain can fly 160 feet, so he is pretty quick. Smokey, you can load a crossbow if you would like, or a ballista rather.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I'll load ballista and let's see. I'm gonna renew my Zephyr straight with my bonus action because it's running out by now.
Okay. Okay. Man, it's too bad somebody doesn't have haste. Then you could load those ballista really quick. Okay, so you are, and I just have this. I mean, at least you're not a halfling. That would be terrible. But I have this image of this bugbear basically lifting up like a tree log with a iron point on it and feather quills on the other end, and Scaly, you can see that a dragon has taken to the air over the ocean.
Are there crevices and kind of nooks and stuff in the side of the iceberg?
Not really. It is exactly as shown. It is fairly, it's fairly smooth, worn smooth by the water.
And then under this lodge roof, is there covering and shade and something that I could tuck in and hide?
Yeah, I would allow you to do that.
Okay, I will fly up under the covering because I'm not as large as a giant wanting to hide under the roof and make a stealth check for which I have no skill, but it's an attempt.
Okay.
Whopping 4.
Oh.
I think I'm clever, but
Yes.
it did not go well.
Am I hidden? You think you're hidden. I find that answer to be unconvincing.
Standing outside like this.
Yes, yes. Waving your arms. I'm hidden. All right. Steve the Devil, I will allow you to make a perception check.
Yeah, sounds up there. Oh, Steve sucks at perceiving. 7.
So you don't notice the dragon. You're
Yeah, I'm too busy eyeballing that frost giant.
Yeah, you are unaware that your life is in danger. Oh my God, there's been this thing on Twitter about DMs. I don't allow flying in my game because it breaks the rules. What the fuck?
I can see where it can be abused, but there's a lot of characters with flying now.
Yeah, well, the biggest problem that I've ever had with it is how the rules as written handles it. Because the rules as written is designed for a 2D plane. They have
Yeah.
no concept of a third dimension. And so, I mean, every time if you were, in reality, if you were to fight a dragon's not going to be, it's not going to fly and stop. It's going to strafe you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's why with Steve, I do try to always keep him moving because I don't see him hovering.
Well, yeah, that's the other weird thing. Part of movement is flight doesn't necessarily mean that you can hover. And
It's
I find that weird, too. I don't know.
so. From there, Steve's gonna whip off a scorching ray.
At the giant?
Yep.
All
See
right.
if we can just send out once and for all.
So you got 3 beams.
Yep. Yeah, I'm only gonna cast at regular strength. So let's see. Beam 1. Oh shit. 14.
Nope, that's a mess.
Beam 2. Oh, it's a little better. A 16.
That hits.
8 damage on that beam.
Okay.
And third beam is going to be 18, which is going to hit
Yep.
for another 9 damage.
Okay. Yeah, this giant's... Now he's partially on fire and not looking healthy. But he trudges on because it would be worse to have to deal with Jarl Storvald than to...
Well, since he's still up, I'm going to go ahead and spend a meta magic and cast Eldritch Blast on top of that.
Okay.
15. So
That's a hit.
gonna hit for 11 damage.
Ouch. Okay.
Next bolt. Ooh, high 20s
Yep.
for 6 damage.
Ooh, and your last Eldritch Blast catches him straight in the chest and blows a hole clear through him. And he dies.
Well, I'm going to hit him with my third blast anyways.
Just to make sure.
Right? Before you dead body off the roof, get out of here.
Double tap. Cardio.
So that would be Steve's turn.
All right. So on this round, Clitaris, if she's running up to the ballista, we'll say the same thing. She can actually... She gets bonus action dash. So she can run up to the ballista and use an action to aim the ballista.
That sounds like a plan.
So then the question is, what is Clitaris aiming the ballista at?
Do
Dragon.
you want me to roll a perception to see if she sees the dragon now that she's up there?
Yeah, go ahead and make a perception check.
What's your perception? 12.
So yes, she does indeed see that something has flown up and is coming towards Svordborg at a high rate of speed above the water.
Then, yeah, we'll go ahead and aim at whatever that thing is, because it can't be good.
I mean, she can tell that it's big. I mean, it's pretty obvious. And so Cryovain is flying, and he's flying low enough to the water that he's causing the water to kick up behind him like a jet flying super low.
Oh yeah, we're definitely aiming at that then.
We just call him Firefox from now on.
Yes, exactly.
It's, oh,
Frost giants are sailing. Cryovain. Let's see here. Flies up and lands on top of this longhouse, sees the carnage that used to be his mate, and lets out an angry, anguished roar, cry, scream, and starts to look around and spots Steve the Devil.
Wasn't him, it was the one-armed man.
Yes. Smokey, what would you like to do now that the ballista is aimed?
I'm gonna pull the trigger.
Okay, you got a +6 to hit.
Okay, let's do this. 11.
That's
Not good.
not gonna do it. The crossbow bolt goes flying past the Cryovain, misses by a fairly wide margin.
Well, maybe he'll come attack us instead of Steve.
Staley, you saw the dragon fly overhead and land and roar quite loudly from where you're standing, but you kind of feel like, whew, he didn't see me.
He didn't consider me enough of a threat when he saw me. How far out is the boat now? Still further, or is it?
The boat will
100.
the boat will start to come into range next round. It'll be like here at the edge of the map, all the way down here.
I will. Light a torch and attempt to set the house I'm hiding under on fire.
Okay. Okay. So you're having a hard time doing that because all of this timber for these longhouses is so old that it has been frozen, and it's so old that it kind of petrified. So in spots it's petrified, in other spots because of the freezing and thawing process and being dug out of the ice, it's damp, but it's also very brittle. So you start to generate quite a bit of smoke, but it's not really starting to light.
Okay, well, another failed plan in my quiver. I'm just waiting on the boat.
Steve, you are now completely aware that there is a second dragon. That is an adult white dragon.
Well, let's see what we got. That's close enough. Let's go ahead and shoot off a couple Eldritch Blast as a warning shot.
Oh yeah, warning shot at an adult dragon. That's all right.
To start. Well, at this point, I don't see much else to happen at the moment.
That's like Nigerian pirates in a ski boat firing warning shots at a U.S. aircraft carrier.
Right. So, soft 20.
That is a hit.
5 damage, and we'll push him back.
Okay. Here. And you're going to push him back 10 feet. All right.
Second blast. 15.
That is a miss.
Third blast. 16.
That is a miss.
8. That will be Steve's turn.
Okay. What does Clitaris want to do? She can load the ballista if she would like.
Yeah, she'll just keep on the plan with helping Smokey.
Okay.
Come and staff.
So she loads Frost Giants, you know, and I didn't really. Here, I have an idea. Oh, I don't know if that'll work. Ah. Here, I'll just. Do this. No. So that is where the Korgvind is now, down here. And no, it doesn't have a spiritual weapon on it. There we go. So that's what they're doing. And you see, as they're at this point, as they're getting closer, they are, Scaly, you can see this probably. They are furling the sails. They're kind of pulling them up to slow their approach. And the oars are out, and they are rowing. Cryovain is fucking pissed off at Steve.
Chris, quick question on building 2 where it says tunnel. Is that from the main land or is that underwater?
It's out of the back of, it goes out to the land, to this little shelf here. So it's 30 feet down from the top of this, or from where this line is here.
Okay, cool deal.
Cryovain. No, that's too far. Oh, good. Cryovain flies over there and releases his breath weapon. So, Steve, you need to make a DC 19 Constitution saving throw.
That's a big negative.
Okay. Wait. Those are the wrong dice. Oh, yeah. Those are the wrong dice. Sorry. Start over.
Start over, do I get a reroll too?
No. There we go. Those are better. Ah, and you're doing much better this time. Ah. "31 points of cold damage."
Ow. Ow.
Yeah, that was particularly low, to be honest. That is Cryovain's turn.
That's half of Steve's hit points.
Smokey. You can aim if you'd like.
I'm aiming.
Okay. I assume you're aiming once again at the dragon?
Yeah, after that, definitely.
Let's see here. Yeah. He is well within range. Alright, so you're aiming. Staley, what would you like to do?
I will fly down and low over the lip till I'm just at the extent of Wall of Fire, which is 120 feet.
Okay.
Then
So,
I'll cast Wall of Fire on the boat,
okay.
but I do not know the deck arrangement of said boat to make good use of that.
I think I can show you. Oops. So this, and actually I need to get rid of him. This is the arrangement of the Korgvind. So where would you like this wall of fire to be? At the front of the boat are 2 ballista.
Yeah, I'll do it right across the nose of the boat.
Okay.
So the 10 feet hot side is facing the ballista.
Okay. So, and that's a 10-foot thick wall, is that correct?
Yes.
There you go. Okay. So they are all. Do they get a save or?
When the wall appears, each creature within its area must make a dexterity saving throw, dex save 17.
Okay. No, they get an 8.
Okay, let's roll this up. 19 points.
Okay.
And the hot side is left of the map.
Okay. You said how much? How much damage was it? 19. Okay.
19. And then each creature that ends its turn within 10 feet of the hot side of the wall will take damage.
Okay. Shit, these
And
two
then I
guys are.
suppose if you were to decide if parts of the boat catch fire, it doesn't speak of catching surfaces on fire like some other fire
Right.
spells, but up to what? I just really want to keep them from the bow ballistas would be nice.
Right.
And then I am maintaining my range from the boat, whatever they tack or the direction. I just want to keep my 120-foot range on the boat.
Okay. Move back over here to Storvald. Okay.
So if they tack east, I'll follow them. If they tack west, I'll follow them, but below the line of the ice floe.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay. Oop. Damn it. Damn it. Hold on a second. There we go. Okay. Oh, you son of a bitch. That'll make everything fucking complicated. There we
I
go.
didn't really figure the boat would be 60 feet across at the bow, let alone the midships.
Yeah, she's a big boat. All right, so Steve the Devil You are now cold and icy. What would you like to do?
After that, Steve is going to do a dash action, drop down into the tunnels, and go into the building for cover.
Okay. You are now completely covered from Cryovain. All right.
Steve's like, I'm out.
Clitaris, the can fire the ballista. It is a +6 to hit.
We'll do that. 18 plus 6, 24.
Nice.
That is a hit for 3d10 damage. 3d10 piercing.
19.
Okay. Okay, so Cryovain now has a ballista bolt sticking out of his shoulder, and immediately turns his attention to the castle. And I'm sure Smokey and Clitaris are like, hello. The frost giants.
She's looking at me, Ray.
Okay, so this boat that's coming in is now where this is actually the Korgvind. It is quite close, and it is quite clear that the front of the boat is on fire. They are both of the ballista. So first of all, they are the four giants. First of all, sorry, I had to think about how I was going to do this. Oh, come on, don't be a pain in my ass. There we go. So these guys are going to take damage because they are still in the fire. So how much damage they taken?
Each creature that ends its turn within 10 feet of the hot side or inside the wall takes damage, no save.
Okay.
So at the beginning of their turn, no, but starting their turn or ending their turn within 10 feet of it.
Okay, so they are both going to fire their ballista at Scaly. Well, the first one's going to miss with a 10. And the second one...
Yay for him.
Ah, shit. The second ballista, this one catches fire.
That was also part of my hope.
And is no longer usable. The giants are, in that case, going to move... away. That one's going to move over here. This one is going to move up here to assist with the other one. So these three will take damage.
Okay. 18 points, no save.
Okay.
So at least it doesn't describe a save for staying on the hot side.
All right. Okay. That was the Frost Giants. Cryovain. Well, first of all, Cryovain does not recharge his breath weapon. No. Cryovain is going to fly to the roof of this building and take the dodge action. Smokey, are you loading?
It's gonna reach us before he can reload it. I'm gonna put the hunter's mark on Cryovain.
Okay.
My bonus action. And then I'm gonna shoot him with my longbow.
Okay.
So if they take dodge, does that mean I have like disadvantage or something?
Correct.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'll definitely miss it. I got like 8.
Yeah, that is a miss. But you still get your second shot.
When I rolled a disadvantage for my second attack, but the lower number was 15.
That's still a miss.
Okay. Well, I tried.
Okay. Scaly, what would you like to do with your insipid chaos this time?
Let's see. I just have to hunt for things that aren't concentration.
Well, like I said, you can cast another concentration spell, but you need to make a concentration check for the highest level spell.
Is the gate down, or they can float right in?
The gate is up. So there's just this
Yes.
big chain across the that opening to the bay.
Gate is up blocking, or gate is up, they're free to come in?
No, the gate is up blocking, but they could
Oh.
come over here and dock.
Let's see. And the boat is there. I will fly. Will I be able to see Cryovain if I'm like halfway up the roof?
I would say yes. Cryovain is quite huge. Yeah,
Okay,
he's
I
a
will
huge dragon.
Move there and tidal wave Cryovain.
Okay. So, what kind of save does Cryovain get on tidal wave?
Dex DC 17.
Okay. Nat 20.
Kidding. No. Half, so 5 or 6, and he's not pro.
Okay.
And then water splashes around and probably freezes after that.
So 6 points. All right. So Steve the Devil, you're inside the building and you just see, you can hear the timbers in the roof creaking, not only from the dragon that's on the roof, but also suddenly there's water dripping down through the rafters, like a lot of water dripping down through the rafters. What would Steve like to do?
Steve is going to move 30 feet for his action, moving his way across the room towards the door.
Okay.
And for standard action, he's going to use his Pearl of Power to regain a level 3 spell slot.
Okay. You can do that.
And that will be Steve's turn.
What does Cletaris want to do? So the crossbow is still not loaded. Or, sorry, the ballista is still not loaded.
Let's see. Doesn't really have any long-range stuff. Is how badly hurt is Smokey? Are you damaged at all? Smokey?
She's looking.
Ah,
I'm missing 30 hit points. I have like 50 left.
well, I imagine this is going to be a bad battle, so let's go ahead and get you up a little bit. We will use one of the charms on the Wand of Greater. Give you some greater healing on this.
I honestly didn't expect you guys to try to fuck with the boat. I thought you were gonna all run to the cloud castle and get out of Dodge. But you surprised me once again.
Fire on a boat is kind of one of those do it when you can things, right?
Yeah, you know.
I also considered turning into a fire elemental and just running amok, but
I'm kind of imagining the Jarl Storvald is kind of like you the time that Doug's boat started smoking. He's at the back of the boat, like, getting ready to jump anyway.
Smokey, 14 points back.
Thank you.
And so we're not messing with the ballista anymore? Takes too long? That's the plan?
I think, I mean, I don't know. I thought it would be more effective than it was, and the dragon's really, really fast, so.
Then as a bonus action, the Taurus will do a full dash and make her way back down to the landing. That way we're not together for breath weapon attacks. Kind of spread the party a little.
All right. You know, that way Smokey can die alone. You know, that's...
line up in a cone.
Yes.
Make it easy.
Yes. Okay.
Well, the Taurus needs to also get closer. She has crap for long range. There's one tiny short bow.
Okay. I was wondering if I was going to have to break out a third map, but if you're going to do that, that actually makes my life a lot easier. Over here...
Oh, out of curiosity, is our airship still attached to the castle?
Yes. Yeah.
Is the crewmate, I don't remember, are they still in good enough shape to fly said Zeppelin?
Yeah. Yeah, you got them out of the Cloud Giant's dungeon, and they are ready to take off. But, I mean, the airship's not going to outrun an adult white dragon.
We're not going to outfly a dragon in that.
Yeah, it's not the Millennium Falcon, for sure.
Well, it might not be able to run, but we can at least get it out of harm's way while we're fighting it, so, like, circle.
Right. Yeah, that's a possibility.
So let the crew prepare to undock.
So, I need to...
Send C-3PO and R2 off on their way.
Well, I'm hoping just to get it out of, like, breath weapon attack, so it's not taken out
Yeah.
unnecessarily.
I'll copy those guys. And...
Well, come back in 10 minutes.
And so the Korgvind doesn't even really slow down. It just crunches these docks and butts up against this ice and disgorges.
Do they all have to pass through the wall of fire?
No. But the ones that are already damaged are here. And that is their turn getting off the boat. Cryovain. Which is more tasty, a paladin or a bugbear? Probably the paladin. Because, I mean, of course they are. So first of all, Cryovain's breath weapon recharges, and he releases a cone of cold on Clitaris. Clitaris needs to make a DC 19 Constitution saving throw.
One second, I just want to double check her armor, if she had anything special. Not seeing anything extraordinary. It's going to be a soft 20.
She takes 25 points of cold damage. That's already halved.
Okay.
All right. So that's
So
Cryovain.
that one.
That is Cryovain's turn. Ms. Smokey, what would you like to do? So I would say, Smokey, because you have, you've renewed your, you have a couple of options, MD. You could run down there, getting down there with a dash. Alternately, you could fire your bow down from where you're at.
Okay.
There is a third option. The third option would be that with your dash action, you could run into essentially the rooftop of the castle. And I don't think that did anybody actually attune to the navigation orb?
I don't think so.
We didn't get time redocked before we could. Because it was going to take like a while to do
Yeah, it takes a little while to do that. Okay. So your options, of course, are to you could run down and try to go toe to toe with Clitaris Adang's Cryovain. You could shoot your bow at range and not have to worry about hitting Clitaris because Cryovain is so huge. And a third option would be to run to the airship, undock, and just ditch the Cloud Castle and try to pick up your friends on the way out and get away. It's up to you.
Well, it looks like I have advantage on saving throws against breath weapons, so that's a plus. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to shoot my bow and then use my movement to get like halfway down.
Okay.
And then on the next turn, get all the way down and attack normal.
Okay. So you get your 2 shots.
$26 to hit.
That's a hit.
Yeah, since the Ether Dragon was soloed, I'm hoping we can take this one.
So I got 8 piercing damage,
Okay.
and then I get a d6 of Hunter's Mark.
Yes.
That's 3.
Okay. And then you get another
And I
shot.
Wait, I still have flame arrows left, so I get 1 more d6.
Sure.
Fire damage.
Yep. Pile it on.
Yeah. So another 4. And then I'll take a second shot.
Okay.
I can find the. Okay. 10. And I miss.
That is it.
And I'll run halfway down.
Okay.
And as I'll use my bonus action to speak the command word to make my sword fiery.
Okay. All right. Don't worry, Cletus, I'm coming. Scaly, what would you like to do?
What is the state of the wall of fire on the boat that ran aground?
It's still there.
I will. So many of my things require concentration, and if no one's on the boat anymore, then maintaining that wall of fire is kind of pointless. So, I will cast a new wall of fire,
Okay.
and it will go like that.
Okay. So let's see here. We got 3 of them that are going to have to make dex checks. Actually, 4 of them. Let's see here. Oh, no. 3. Nope, there's the 4th. Okay. They only get a 10, so they will take
Then I'll
30.
take 32,
Okay.
and the hot side is facing them.
Okay.
So anybody who ends their turn on that side, or anybody who enters the area, has a no save damage roll.
Okay.
And then let me check my ranges. I will go closer to the peak of the roof. That's all okay on range. Good. Trying to think of something I could wild shape into that's advantageous at this point. Yeah, what the fuck? I'll wild shape into a fire elemental on bonus action.
Okay. You are a fire elemental. Let's see here. We'll use a little snowflake to show that you are wild shaped.
There is no elemental that has resistance to cold, so I had to pick my physicals.
Right. Okay. Steve, what would you like to do? You can now, from where you're at, Steve, from outside the building, you could hear the dragon once again use its breath weapon and roaring and carrying on. What would you like to do?
Well, Steve has enough movement. Double check. How about there? We can get to there. Right, yeah. Do I have a clean shot at The dragon from here?
Yeah.
Alright, then from here, Steve is going to cast. Oh, what the fuck was Steve going to cast? Save that for the other guys. I haven't seen him picked out. What the fuck was that? Ah, fuck it, let's go ahead and drop this thing. These ladies. Yeah, let's go with that one instead. So, centered off the dragon, it looks like 10-foot radius will be just out of range of Clitoris to cast upscaled Shatter.
Okay. So, what kind of... That's a con save, is that correct?
Constitution, correct.
Okay. 22 to save.
Not saves, but still taking that. Set base. It's only going to be 7 damage total.
Okay.
And that will be Steve's turn.
Okay. And Clitoris.
Clitoris is going to slash at it with her scimitar.
Okay. She got any smites left?
Actually, she has all her level 2 smites.
So, as a bonus action, she could go, full damage on that first hit. As a bonus action, she could cast a smite spell, and then she could also throw divine smite on if she hits.
What she's going to do is try to stack a divine smite on it, then as a bonus action use inspiring smite to give herself 10 hit points after that last damage.
Okay, there you go.
And her attack is 19.
That is a hit.
Nice. So that is going to be 3, 5. That's a level 2, so 3d8, a d6. 26 damage.
Okay.
And she will get back 17, or she'll get 17 10-foot point.
Okay.
And then her second attack. 13, 22 is gonna hit.
Yes.
And that is d6. Oh, 2 more d6 for the rogue.
Oh, yeah.
Sneak attack. For 94 hit points. 9 more damage.
I'm sorry, how much?
9.
Okay.
And that will be her turn.
Okay. Okay. But I am pulling out Fizbin's Treasury of Dragons. That's something that Jeff will want to look at for the next campaign. Monk, Way of the Ascendant Dragon. I'm just throwing that out there.
When you become Dragonborn and get 2 resistance to damage or something, Lane?
I'm not sure. I'll have to read up on that one. This is on my list of need to reads. So this treasure. God, Wizards is a bunch of dicks. They can't put a fucking index in their books because, you know, that's too much work.
There's been a few times where I've Googled what page it is in the book so I could look it up because it was faster.
Right? Yeah, no, I thought that was going to give me some additional insight, but it does not. So at the end of Cleitaris' turn, the dragon, let's see here. Oh, good. He has 15-foot range. It's going to use a legendary action. Perfect. To swat with its tail at Steve. $25 to hit.
One second.
For 14 bludgeoning.
Okay. Ooh, poor Steve.
The frost giants. What are the frost giants going to do? Well, they're going to get the fuck out of that firewall. That's what they're going to do. So they take damage if they move through it, correct?
Yep. First time they, well, on their turn, not that only entering it once does it, but if they were to go in and out on their turn, that'd be one thing. But if they go through it and then back through it, they would take damage on successive turns. But the first time, let me read it. Fourth, Ball of Fire. Each creature that ends its turn within 10 feet of that side.
Okay.
A creature takes the same damage when it enters the wall for the first time on a turn or ends its turn there. So going through the wall is 5d8, no save.
Okay. So they make their athletics to get up the hill. No, that guy's going to take damage.
22 is what I rolled for each of those.
He's going to take damage. He is not going to take damage. Hold on here. Yeah, he'll take damage. And he'll take damage. Okay, so 22.
Is this stormy weather conditions?
No.
Yeah.
This guy. And then sorry, I'm juggling maps here.
Hmm.
So this guy will take 22. Okay. All right. That was. Oh, wait.
Mhm.
So these guys moved. You're on the roof, right?
Yep.
Okay. These three up front are going to throw rocks at Scaly. $28 to hit.
Yep.
$20. 29 points of bludgeoning damage.
Is it a magic rock?
New.
Then I take half.
Okay. So 11. Second guy.
You said 29, right? That'd be.
Oh, I'm sorry.
15?
Correct. You're correct.
Okay. Track.
Second guy. Soft 20 to hit.
Yep. Fire elementals do not have good AC.
$33 points of bludgeoning damage.
So 16 or 17.
16. And the last guy. $24 to hit.
Yep.
$24 points of bludgeoning damage.
Well, okay. That even with resistance to bludgeoning, that hurts a lot.
Okay. But you're still a fire elemental, right?
Yep.
Okay. Oh, shit. Cryovain. What else can we do? The end of the Frost Giant's turn. Cryovain beats his wings for 2 legendary action points. And Clitaris needs to make a DC 19 dexterity saving throw.
$19 is what she rolled.
Okay. So she takes 6 points of bludgeoning damage. And she is not. Oh, wait. Oh, wait. No, she takes no damage. She dodges it. The dragon can then fly up to half its speed.
Let me check. Steve's right on the border of 10 feet. Is it within 10 feet or no?
It was within 10 feet. Steve was at 15.
Oh,
So Cryovain flies there. Then on Cryovain's turn, his breath weapon recharges. And he breathes cold. Cone. And Clitaris and Steve need to make DC 19 Constitution saving throws.
makes it, and so does Clitoris.
Okay, so they will take half damage. Let's see here.
Which is still going to hurt.
So 28 points of cold damage for each of them.
Steve's looking very, very woozy. He's at 2.
Oof.
How's the dragon looking?
Oh, he's angry.
Okay. So that was Cryovain's turn. Smokey, you are now down at the bottom of the stairs. You are able to, or you can move to the bottom of the stairs, and I would say that you still have some movement left because of Zephyr Strike. So what would you like to do?
Did you say it ate its wings before?
No, it beat its wings.
Beat its wings.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was a wing
confused.
attack
I was
as
like,
a
alright.
legendary action.
I thought it like gnawed on its wings and it gave it like wings or something. It's like, for real? It's gross. Okay, never mind. So I'll run up and smack it.
Okay.
Okay. I'm feeling ashamed because we didn't help with the other one at all. That's pretty embarrassing. This is 19 to hit.
That's a hit.
Sorry, soft 20.
Yeah, that's a hit.
Cool. 2d6 fire. So got 9 points of fire damage. And 3 for the Here's Mark.
Okay.
And I can do Muscle Slayer, so I can throw on one more d8.
Okay.
6 for that.
All right. Your next attack.
17 hit?
It does not.
Damn it. Okay.
Okay. Anything else?
Can't think anything.
Okay. Scaly, what would you like to do with your
Not get hit by 3 rocks again, but I could.
kick rocks?
Yeah. Oh, dirt.
All the frost giants are playing Kid Rock music as they are moving their way up.
Yeah. Oh, hate to leave a wall of fire that's only been active for 2 rounds, but that's already happened as well.
Actually, frost giants are probably playing Norwegian death metal.
I will double move a fire elemental trait and occupy the space of Icy Butt.
Okay. They don't get a save for that either. That I'm aware of.
No.
They just are gonna take damage.
So, stop and enter a hostile creature space and stop there. The first time, creature takes 1d10 fire damage and catches fire until someone douses it.
Yeah.
Just run up under its belly.
6 whole points.
Okay.
Ah, here. And the wall of fire, well, unless theoretically I could somehow still see it, let's see. No, I'm too far away, so the wall of fire be gone.
Okay. All right. And actually,
I just moved Scaly so you could access him if you needed to, but technically I'm sharing space with Cryovain.
right. Okay. All right, so Cryovain is on fire in places, and will take 1d10 at the start of each of his turns. Steve, what would you like to do? Gonna get a Band-Aid?
Yeah. Well, for the moment, Steve is going to be like, fuck y'all, but good luck. He's going to cast Enlarge on Clitoris.
Okay.
Consent.
Yep, she will consent to it.
She's now a huge clitoris.
Yes.
And Steve is going to run inside the building.
Okay.
Good luck, y'all.
All right. At the end of Steve's turn, Cryovain will use 2 legendary actions to make a wing attack. Actually, no. Yeah, he's going to do this. So, Smokey and Scaly need to make DC 19 dexterity saving throws.
Let me find the dexterity and fire elemental. There we go. I did not.
So you take 11 bludgeoning damage.
But I have resistance unless its bludgeoning is magical.
Right. No. Then you would take 5.
I need it. Do I take 5 also? Or-
No, you take none. And
Oh,
then
sweet.
he can move. He can fly half his movement without provoking an attack of opportunity, and he dives into the water and is no longer on fire. Give me just a moment. I will be right back.
So I use my telepathy, because I can't talk as a fire elemental, to share the fact that there are 4, 6, 11 frost giants coming up next. We might want to board our sky castle and prepare to play defense games. Can we pilot the sky castle?
I think it takes like half a day to attune to it. It takes a while to attune to it. That's why as soon as we got done with those fights, we were basically docking here, so we had no opportunity to try to attune to it. There was
We have no pilot.
Yeah.
Okay. But we do have an airship as a temporary reprieve from frost giants, just not the dragon.
Yeah, and I did rally the crew to start getting the ship ready for launch, so we probably can bounce out as soon if we really need to. Which would work against the frost giants, but we got to take out that dragon before we leave, because that thing will stir up the airship in a hurry.
Yep.
The only thing working for us is it's cold damage, not fire.
I still have some pretty nasty spells left. I didn't want to terminate the fire elemental because I can't wild shape out. We can still do a T-Rex polymorph.
Okay.
Are you the same level as everybody?
Yeah, I leveled up to 11, Chris said.
Yep, you guys are definitely going to get level 12 at the end of this. So, Clitaris, what would you like to do with your big Clitaris?
Well, since the dragon went away for the moment, that gives her an opportunity to step to here and use the wand to cast greater healing on Steve through the doorway.
That's a good idea. So, if it's an enlarged Clitaris, does that count for bludgeoning damage?
I would agree.
There's at the start of gender reassignment.
I always wanted to start
Phase one.
I always wanted to start a punk band called 6 Inch Clit. The songs kind of write themselves.
14 for Steve, so he's no longer super on the verge of death, just mostly on the verge of death.
He's on life support at this point.
He's 16 out of 76.
Yeesh. Yeesh.
Well, I can shed the fire elemental, and then I've got staff of healing in my spells. So, you guys want me to revert yet? I've still got half my hit points.
For the moment, he's hiding, so we'll save that.
Okay.
That's her turn. She's just going to step there, heal him. Not a lot else can be done.
Okay, so Frost Giants. I'm going to grab these guys in groups of 4. They will go ahead and dash. As will these guys. As will these guys. And then Jarl, Storvald, and 4 more Frost Giants come off the boat.
That boat should have been a burning husk.
Well, it's made of wood, and it is wet, so...
And it had magical fire on it for 3 turns.
Well... and that's all the Frost Giants are going to do. Cryovain, first of all, does not recharge his breath weapon. You guys should be rejoicing at that. What is from? I know what Cryovain's going to do. Cryovain is going to come up and land behind Clitaris. The first thing Cryovain does is activate his frightful presence So everybody within 120 feet, which is all of you, need to make a DC 14 Wisdom saving throw.
Shit.
So Scaly's having a panic attack.
And fire elementals are not immune to frightened. They're immune to many things, but not frightened.
I made it.
Okay. Let me find something. There we go. That looks scary. What about Clitoris?
At her level, I believe she's immune to fighting, right?
Let's see. Level 11 Paladin? Let's see.
Yeah.
That's a possibility. Let's see here.
I just can't find it in her notes, but I think she,
Well,
'cause I know she is.
at 10th level, she has Aura of Courage. Let me see what, let's see. You and friendly creatures within 10 feet of you cannot be frightened while you are conscious. So she cannot be frightened. And
And then doesn't she give a +4 to anybody within 10 feet?
Smokey is immune to frightened. It's not a bonus. Anybody within 10 feet is immune.
Oh, nice.
I run that way. No.
Yeah, except you're already frightened, so you can't run closer. And Steve, what did you get?
And what was it?
DC 14 Wisdom?
No, Steve's scared.
Okay. I lied. I am scared of dragons.
Yeah, Steve's scared.
There it is. However, I will allow Steve to make a, before Cryovain then does the rest of her action, I will allow Steve to make your choice, either a history or Arcana check.
Well, it's going to be Arcana. Steve didn't pay attention in school. He don't know no history. 17?
So, Steve, and I don't know if Scaly is using telepathy. If he is, you can broadcast this. But Steve knows, before Steve gets scared, Steve is, Steve has an epiphany that, oddly enough, neither of the dragons have used any lair actions.
Because this isn't their lair?
Or they weren't here long enough for it to become a lair. There is a horde that you guys haven't had an opportunity and may never have an opportunity to pillage, but you haven't seen them use the lair actions. And so Cryovain then is going to make a bite attack and 2 claw attacks on Clitoris. I mean, Cryovain hates the frost giants too, but he really kind of blames you guys for the death of his wife. So, bite attack.
But I'm not your guy, buddy.
You're not my buddy, guy. I don't think he hits with an 18.
No, with her sword and shield, she's a 19.
That's what I thought. And then 2
The
claw.
loss and wealth reduces the AC. I don't think it does.
No. And then claw attacks. The first one. There we go. 29 to hit for a whole
That definitely hits.
terrifying 8 points of slashing damage. And second claw, 22 to hit.
On that one, she will use her defensive duels. One hit with a melee attack. add your proficiency to your AC, so that bumps it up to a 23.
Okay, so that misses. All right.
Dodge, weave.
If you can dodge a dragon, you can dodge a fireball.
And a wrench.
And a wrench, yes. So that's Cryovain's turn, who still has one legendary action left. Smokey, what would you like to do? Other than not be here right now.
Yeah, we're kind of screwed if all those giants come here. I wish I could tell him that a frost giant cut off his wife's head. I mean, do they only speak Draconic or?
No, it speaks Common and Draconic.
Okay. I mean, that's our best bet. We can set him on them, and then we can.
Okay. Go ahead and make a.
You know, it's that giant covered in your wife's blood about 80 clicks away. He's the one.
Yeah, we genuinely didn't attack his wife. We were all trying to make a plan. To
Yeah,
do something.
it was the fucking dwarf.
Yeah, it was.
Well, it's the frost giant covered in her blood back there, so.
Yeah, look at the scene. There's a giant covered in her blood, and there's us not covered in any blood.
Make a your choice either. Well, I mean, you're not being deceitful. Make a persuasion check.
$15.
So you blurt this out, and Cryovain's head snaps towards the frost giants, and you see him bare his fangs, and he says,
Okay, we can.
He says, you have gained a respite, little playthings.
Sweet. I've used my movement to get towards my ship then.
As a reaction, Cryovain flies another 40 feet to the roof and is pointing his bared fangs towards the frost giants.
Let's go. Right. Yeah, I can make it on. Whoop.
Okay. Staley, you hear this interaction. You see Cryovain move. I guess technically running towards the airship is away. I mean, parallel / away.
Yep. That's what I do.
Okay. Steve, you're scared, and now you realize that Cryovain's on the roof, and you've heard this. Your initial reaction, being scared, is to get the fuck out of that longhouse.
Yeah, I'd imagine at this point, run back to the base. Fuck, 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 fuck. So,
Chris, can I use a bonus action before the end of my turn to unshape?
Yeah.
Okay.
so double move will get Steve to there.
Okay. And Cleotaris.
With Steve being scared, does that break his concentration?
Yeah, that's a really good question.
Triton says only you have disadvantage on attacks and cannot close the distance. It doesn't
Yeah, I don't.
necessarily concentration.
It's not. That's a good thing to bring up. I mean, logically, in my head, I would say my gut reaction wants to say yes, but Raw says no. So, yeah, it's not. There's no reason that you would have lost concentration.
You got this. I'm running.
So what the?
So the Clitoris's turn, she's like sees the turn of battle. Being large, does that increase her movement?
Yeah. What's her normal movement?
40 foot.
So it will increase her movement to 50 feet.
50, so she can go with her triple dash, that means 150 foot. How far away is the ballista on the airship?
She would be able to get to the ballista.
That's where she will go. She'll go to the ballista and start prepping to prep it just in case.
So here is a key problem. The key problem is that this navigation orb is going to take, nobody's attuned to it. It'll take, at the minimum, a long rest to attune to it. And you guys don't really have a long rest. The other option, of course, is just pile into the airship and ditch the cloud castle. Along with the two 7-year-old twin cloud giants that you have locked up in their nursery.
I wish Zinquinol was here, because, if we made a tiny hut, on the inside of the door, I'm pretty sure that would block it from being able to open into the castle.
Right.
May give us time to attune, but,
Well, since you were successful on turning the dragon against the giants, I'm hoping if we just stay out of the dragon's way, it will go on its own way to go do its dragon stuff. In fact, we're not here. That's us.
Yeah, it's the Cryovain's not going to let you go. He's just shifting his focus of attention.
But we can watch for a couple rounds and get ready.
Yeah, we can heal ourselves somewhat too.
Yeah, and that's why Clitoris is going over to start prepping one of the ballistas.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, frost giants.
We can make our last stand on the bridge. Because, yeah, I still don't think we could outrun it in the airship either. That thing will tear that airship apart.
Yeah.
Well, if you're out of sight, out of mind, keep in mind that white dragons aren't very smart. So, I mean, like I said, out of sight, out of mind. If he kills the frost giants and you're already long gone, he may just, at that point, decide to let you go.
Well, hopefully they might thin each other down enough where we could come in and be like, swoop in for the final kills.
The frost giants...
I have another question, though. If we leave, don't they have everything in place to find that, super duper evil ring still?
Oh, there's more coming as far as the ring goes.
You mean Caesar?
Yeah, that one.
Master of fire and ice.
Mm-hmm.
So these 4 frost giants are all going to make great axe attacks on Cryovain. So that is 8 attacks. That is a miss. That's a hit. For 15. Next 2. That's a hit for 18. That's a hit. Eesh, for 28. Next two. Jesus. I don't know if Cryovain's going to survive this.
Gonna say each of those giants.
That's a miss. That's a miss. And last two attacks. That's a miss. Ooh. Last attack. That's a hit. For 16.
Those first four were only down about a third of their totals.
Yeah. Cryovain is clearly injured. I mean, visibly fucked up.
Should I heal the dragon?
That would be funny. As a legendary action, he's going to tail swipe one of the giants. That is a hit. For 15 bludgeoning. And then on his turn, Cryovain takes the disengage action and once again dives under the water and flees. Smokey, you see the dragon run away. What would you like to do?
I think we cannot take on this many right now.
Yeah, there's still more on the boat.
There's a shitload of these guys. I think we need to get onto the airship.
As Malcolm Reynolds said, there's just an acre of you fellas.
It's just about
Do we
6
still have-
vantage points.
Do we still have like the orb to attune to later, or that's on the ship?
It's,
right?
the navigation orb is on the castle. To describe,
Okay.
I can describe the orb to you.
It's huge. That's the deal, right? It's like a big thing.
I do believe it was not small.
Okay. If it's too big, maybe Pirates could take it as we flee to the airship, and then it'll be here for us to we could sneak out and come take it if we wanted.
Yeah, if we could take the navigation orb with us.
Yeah, it's like taking the keys out of the ignition. So I guess I'll yell that idea to Clitoris since she's huge, and I will dash towards the airship that we can for sure use.
Okay, hold on. Let's kind of see. Here it is.
Also, that will get the orphans out of it for us. It'll be de-orphan.
The orphans that you created. So the navigation orb is a hollow 7-foot diameter sphere of thin polished mithril with a large cloud rune embossed on its surface. The orb levitates 10 feet above the ground and is keyed to a particular castle, allowing you to control that castle's altitude and movement while the orb is inside the castle. If the orb is destroyed or removed from its castle, the castle's altitude and location remain fixed until the orb is returned or replaced.
Lovely. Take the keys.
Yeah, so I was saying Cleetaris could take that on the way out since she is now big enough to take it. I can't because I'm small, so.
Oh, grab it and pick it up, take it to the airship.
Yep.
Okay. So you guys bravely run away,
Yep.
which was really the wise decision. And you guys get aboard the cloud, or aboard the airship. Cleetaris has the navigation orb, and which you can put in your inventory, or in the party kitty, just so that you remember that you have it.
And on the way out, Steve's gonna blast a fireball at the 4 guys on the roof, just like, ah, fuck you.
Okay, you can certainly do that. Hold on just a second here.
Steve's just trying to dick, like, oh, fuck you guys, we're out.
Damn you, easy roller dice and your sales. I have too many dice now. Okay, so they get a dex save.
Dex that is 16.
Yeah, no, they got a 10.
And they will pay 11. $23 damage.
Okay.
I spit in your eye.
And I will shoot an insect plague at them.
Okay, hold on just a second here. One of you is going to light them on fire, the other one's going to give them crabs.
A case of flaming crabs.
I mean, technically the worst kind of crabs.
Crabs with tiny little torches.
They have high cons, but it's what I can do at this range.
Okay, and so then they get a con save. No, they only got a 14.
No, so they all take 20 each.
Shit. One of them is not looking well. Two of them are not looking well. Like almost dead.
We could circle above them in the airship and just drop shit on top of them.
Yeah, I don't necessarily know that you should that you should press your luck. There's plenty more where that came from. So you guys get on the airship and, you know, give your parting shots as the airship takes off. You can see Jarl Storvald, and I think I might have. Let's see here. Do I not have? No, I guess not. Okay. I thought I had a picture of Jarl Storvald. I do not, but you can see kind of what he looks like here on his token. Kind of looks like a crazy man with a helmet. And you guys make your... yeah, there he is. That's him. You guys make your escape in the airship with the dragon cultists stoking the fires as fast as they can, the elemental inside the furnace getting it to go as fast as they can. You are all able to complete a long rest, and you all get level 12.
Sweet.
Yep, what am I doing? That's not what I want. So I'll give you a moment to take level 12. While you are doing that, I'll be right back. Yeah, that came close a couple times. I didn't, when we started this adventure, or this campaign, I didn't really think that this campaign was going to be as lethal as some of the later campaigns, like, Tomb of Annihilation immediately comes to mind as lethality. But even Dungeon of the Mad Mage can be pretty bad at times. So I didn't think that this was going to be quite that bad, but man, when you throw more than like 4 giants into the mix, shit.
Oh yeah.
It just gets really brutal.
Just so many hit points, they do so much damage.
Yeah, and these 2 final battles, well, one final battle for sure and one optional, assuming that you guys get greedy, are going to be major fights, because these are named bosses. I mean, yeah, Cryovain and Isendrag had names, but they were minor bosses compared to this. Oh, that's something also to keep that I'll keep in my back pocket, is that Fizban's Treasury Dragons, actually, there is a dragon bigger and older than an ancient.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well, some what I've noticed with some of the fights that we've been having, especially of late, it's not so much one group is really a big problem, but it's just fight stacked on fight stacked on fight.
It's the ads, yeah.
Because it's like, all right, cool, we killed everybody, but oh shit, by round 3, it's like, fuck, we're out of spells. Like, we're running out of resources.
The one thing that I will say that Wizards has done, in my opinion, as a DM, correctly over previous editions, is that there's actually a mechanic. It's blatantly said that, you know, if monsters in another room can hear something going on, they'll come out and add to the fight. In previous editions, especially first, but somewhat in second, it wasn't like that. I mean, DMs would add that in a lot of times, but usually what happened was, oh, we're in a dungeon, kick down the door, fight the monsters inside, kill them, take their shit, go out, literally step to the room right next door, kick open the door, rinse, repeat. And the monsters in that second room just ignored the fact that there was anything going on in the first room. Which is, if you're in somebody's castle, that's completely unrealistic. It's probably pretty unrealistic if you're even in a dungeon. And even if they're not like-minded monsters, they're probably going to come out to, you know, in a feral sense, they're going to come out to try and take advantage of the situation. So,
or at least come investigate.
Yeah, so the past two, like the Cloud Giant Castle and Svardborg, what you ran into was, instead of multiple encounters, you ended up with one really, really long encounter because there were just all these ads that kept coming on.
Well, one mechanic I've never really understood or like agreed with in a lot of the, especially the older ones, is like, well, fight through like 3 or 4 rooms and then do a rest, and it's like, well, when reinforcements show up,
right?
Was people making rounds, checking on stuff? Like,
well, and in the old days, that was supposed to be taken care of with the exploration aspect, and a lot of that has carried over into the current edition, is that you're supposed to roll on a random encounter table, which is great and all. I personally fucking hate random encounter tables. They're not so bad with a situation like what you just described. Where they become a pain in the ass is when you're trying to go over land. And then what you end up with is just a series of ridiculous encounters. I've been camping up in the woods a lot. And I can tell you there's been like maybe 1 or 2 instances where there was a random encounter. You know what I mean? The way their tables make it sounds like, oh, I traveled, half a day. Shit. Now I got, wolves. Fuck. Wolves. God damn it.
Ends up like Final Fantasy, where you're just like, I'm just trying to get to the safe spot, but every 5-foot step, like, you gotta fight something.
Exactly. Yeah, that's kind of what you end up with random encounters. And so I generally tend to taper that down, or I do the random encounters before we actually even meet, and then I just place them.
Yeah.
Which kind of makes sense. Are you guys leveled up?
Yes.
Yeah.
I took Elfrid's Adept, and now I look like an elf.
Okay. So...
Steve's leveled. I'm going to let Clitoris do her own.
So when you say you look like an elf, do you look like a lizard folk that has elf features, or?
No, I can cast a disguise self at will, and so it's illusionary, but I look like an elf unless you come inspect me.
Okay. So you have partially attained your lifelong goal. You're getting closer by the minute. This is the closest you've ever been. So you guys bravely run away on the airship, and after 2 tense days, round the clock shifts. You see no sign of pursuit from Cryovain. You don't see any pursuit from Frost Giant longships. And by day 3, you're kind of at the point where you're finally breathing a sigh of relief. Like I said, you have completed long rest. You have all your hit points and spell slots back, and you've leveled up. Hey, stop that. Tassie's over here trying to make difficult terrain on my neoprene drop mat. So on day 3, and I gotta pick. Well, I'm gonna say Cleitaris is the recipient of a sending spell, and the message is from Princess Sarissa of the Storm Giants, and the sending is wanting to, well, first of all, thanking the party for finding and rescuing her father. She then wants to know, she wants to make sure that everybody is okay, because it was expected for you to head back to Maelstrom, and they haven't seen you in quite some time, and she wants to make sure everything is all right. And the last part of the message is requesting that you make all due haste to return to Maelstrom, because her father, King Hecaton, has divined where the lair of Imrith is, and requests your assistance in dealing with this dire threat.
Could we even use that pearl to send us there quickly, and we could tell the airship to head there?
Well, I mean, you don't necessarily need to. The airship can continue on their way over the trackless sea, over Maelstrom, and they're still probably a good 2 weeks away. But you can blow the conch of teleportation and be in Maelstrom within the next couple of minutes.
That's my vote. What does everyone else want to do?
Sounds good.
All right.
Sounds good to me.
Is there, before you go to Maelstrom, is there any loot in the party kitty that you guys want to divvy up, like treasure, divvy up, gold pieces, whatever, before you go? I mean, I know that Scaly hasn't been here for a while, so his pockets might be a bit leaner than yours.
We have a lot in the party kitty.
Well, if you want to divide up coins, now's the time to do that.
Well, I have coins, and I have a bunch of stuff that we can sell.
Okay.
Well, I don't think we're up in the air, so
Yeah,
we don't have anywhere to sell it.
you're not going to really have an opportunity to sell stuff, so you would need, it would only be like coins that you can divide up.
Okay, let me see my calculator.
And I would say divide them up, divide it by 6.
Yeah.
That way the other people aren't missing out.
No, exactly. Let's see, where's my calculator? 508 divided by 6 equals 84 platinum.
Wow, you guys are loaded.
So that's 84 a piece.
Okay.
Then we got 13,250 gold.
Okay.
This could be 2208. Uh, 9,045 silver. 1507. And a whopping 120 silver copper pieces, or 20 copper a piece.
Okay.
Then yeah, once we actually make it to a town, yeah, we got thousands of dollars worth of items, like tens of thousands.
Okay.
And we have a magic cooler, and we have a spice bag.
Yes.
A salt sack,
We have a camp kitchen all ready to go.
wand of magic missile. Oh, Scaly, do you want a wand of magic missile by chance?
No, I already have 2 stabs and plenty of spells. Technically, I could use a wand, but I think there's other people that could also use it as backup.
Nobody wanted it.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll add that then.
So here's a question: is Magic Missile on Scaly's spell list?
Probably not.
So what that would mean would be that Scaly would have to roll Arcana, whoop-de-doo, DC 11 Arcana check in order to use said wand.
Well, I have no ranks in that, so it's still a 50-50 shot.
So with that one, if you do choose to use it, you get 7 charges a day. You replenish 1d6 at dawn every day.
Okay, it'll be a backup of backups.
Do you use breastplate? I don't think you use that, right?
Nope, I'm lizardy. I have my own.
We have 2 composite longbows plus 2 if that helps you.
Nope, no archery here.
Yeah, I think that's about it as far as useful items.
Plus, you got bracers of armor, a ring of protection.
No, nothing like everybody's taking those.
Mhm.
I think we've dished those out pretty well throughout. Yeah, everything else is like a great sword, a gold helm, some basic bracers. Or not bracers, bracelets.
What are the bracelets? Are they just metal?
Just gold bracelets.
No.
Yeah,
Hey,
nothing
sir?
else really useful. So we will
No, I have some natural AC, and then I can shift out to get access to about 300 hit points.
Alright, where's that? Where's these?
So you guys blow the conch of teleportation and are, like I said, back in Maelstrom within, a minute. And you are brought by Storm Giants guards to the throne room. And sitting on the worm skull throne, once again, is the great King Hecaton. His daughter Sarissa sitting to his right, and his brother Uthor sitting to his left. Uthor being the, I forget what his total title is, but he's essentially like the man-at-arms. He's, he is the general of the armies. And you don't see anybody else in the throne room this time. You come in, and Hecaton stands, and actually, hold on here. Stands and welcomes you. Since I don't think Jeff was here for the rescue, these guys rescued Hecaton from a ship that he was imprisoned on, and it was a big clusterfuck. And
I remember this map when we were introduced to the council group and stuff, but not the rescue of the king.
Yeah, the rescue of the king. He was chained, and these magic chains basically put him in a stasis. And he was in this cargo hold of this big ship that was kind of shaped like a squid, and he was being held by members of the Kraken Society, and they, in the process of trying to free him, they succeeded. They also succeeded. He was, as soon as the chains were broken, or rather the locks picked by Weeben, he was immediately pissed off and wanted to kill everything. And Weeben convinced him that that you guys were here to rescue him, and that not all little folk are bad. And he joined the fight on your side, and then, but realizing that he was in stasis, so he had no idea what has been going on in his absence. And so, freed, he dived into the water to swim as fast as he could back to his kingdom, because, shit is probably going to go to hell in a handbasket. He doesn't trust his own daughters other than Sarissa being the youngest. And he had made Sarissa his heir. You know that Mirren and the other sister, I don't remember her name, they are imprisoned on the highest level in their own towers. And so Maelstrom is basically, the entire castle is at the bottom of the trackless sea, about 3 miles below the surface, on the bottom of the trackless sea, and it is built out of coral. And, these spires go up. Mirren and her sister are locked in their respective towers, grounded, as it were, probably with good spankings, and they're to remain there. Sarissa, still being his heir, now sits to his right, where the queen used to sit, but the queen, of course, is still dead. And Hecaton, as you come in, stands and thanks you immediately and you have his undying gratitude for rescuing him. Not only rescuing him, but exposing the threat in his own court. And he tells you that he has been working towards that end to further uncover and deal with the threat. So the threat in his court, of course, was that the advisor to Sarissa, a storm giant, was really the ancient blue dragon Imrith in disguise. And Hecaton feels that with the shattering of the ordning, he feels a couple of different ways about this. One, he feels that Imrith was, with the shattering of the ordning, Imrith was attempting to use this as an opportunity to reignite the ancient war between dragons and giants. So I don't know how much you guys know about the creation myth of the world, but giants and dragons were pretty much the first ones here. Like, I believe even before elves. And there was a war between dragons and giants, and pretty much that was the catalyst, that was the downfall of the ancient giant kingdom of Astoria. And so the ordning was put in place by the Allfather, the god of giants, or the primary god of giants, in order to stop the bullshit between all the different giant clans and set up a hierarchy of who's in charge to stop them from fighting each other. Well, since that's been shattered, now he thinks that Imrith is trying to reignite the war, and he believes that first of all, he thinks his wife was correct. His wife always told him that she would take Sarissa, when Sarissa was young, they would make trips to the Sword Coast and spend time with the little folk of the world. And she instilled in Sarissa that the little folk are not really your enemies. Giants can work with the little folk. Hekaton, at the time, never believed that. He thought that little folk were always out to plunder the ancient ruins of Astoria. They were there to, if they could, take over giants and remove them. But now he sees through you that little folk can be trusted. And so he's wanting to trust you once again, because he thinks that obviously Imrith is a dire threat not only to giants but to little folk of the world as well. He wants you to join him in a direct assault on Imrith's lair in the Anauroch Desert, and to put an end to the doom of the desert. And he thinks that if this partnership between little folk and storm giants were to happen, and you're successful in putting an end to Imrith, that the ordning would be reestablished, that the Allfather would once again find giants, the storm giants, to be at the top of the ordning and to have redeemed giant kind in his eyes. And he wants to know if you will assist him in this endeavor.
Well, it sounds fun to me. I do want to let him know about the evil ring situation that we stumbled upon, though.
Oh, I forgot. On your airship, sorry, backtracking in my story a little bit. On your airship journey back, heading towards the trackless sea, you saw that there was a great plume of smoke rising on the horizon, coming from the region of Icewind Dale, specifically the town of Bryn Shander. Of course, with Staley and Steve being able to fly, they were able to reconnoiter the area and come back to the airship. And what they learned is that a group of frost giants had split off from the whaling ship and had gone to attack Bryn Shander, specifically looking for a relative of Artis Cimber. What was learned in that attack is that, one, Artis Cimber wasn't there, but what you learned is that the giants, after making their assault, then boarded a ship and headed south. long south, like a far ways. They are headed south to the southern peninsula of the land called Chult in search of the Ring of Winter. And that's the last that you know. And I mean, if you guys were to take the airship, you're talking about months of journey at this point, heading south to get to Chult. So the Ring of Winter is somewhere in the jungles of Chult. If you want, I would allow you guys to make a history check to see what you know about Chult, but it is beyond the scope of this campaign.
I got an 11.
Okay. Does Steve or Cletaris want to make a history check?
Taurus is a 14, and Steve does not remember shit. He got a 5.
So between Cletaris and Smokey, Smokey, you're like, wait, Chult, isn't that a jungle peninsula? Or they call it a peninsula, but it's really not. It's an island. Or it used to be a peninsula. Now it's an island. And what you know, Smokey, is that it is a jungle, and there are dinosaurs, like bona fide dinosaurs living there, and it is a highly dangerous place. What Cletaris knows is that there is one major port of call in Chult, and it is known as Port Nyanzaru, and it is a fabulously marvelous place that deals in all manner of goods from all across the realms, and it is a trade port. And the city itself doesn't have a single ruler. It is ruled by the merchant princes. Essentially, it's ruled by pirates and gangsters. But unlike Luskin, Port Nyanzaru has actually made it work and not be a shithole. And these merchant princes got the people to rise up and kick out the kingdom that had previously controlled Port Nyanzaru and took control for themselves. And it would be kind of like if the Teamsters came in and took over Portland. It would probably be a better situation than what we currently have. So, yeah. And one of the things that Cletaris brings up, she says, did you know that they have weekly races? There's a great sport in Port Nyanzaru known as dinosaur racing.
Pod racing.
No, dinosaur racing, where they literally race dinosaurs around the city.
Steve wants to do some racing. That sounds fun as fuck.
I want to be a dinosaur in a race.
That could be, yes.
I have a question for King Hecaton. How many days since his queen passed away?
It's been, by this point, it's been probably a good 6 months.
Okay. I thought it'd be kind of amusing to offer to reincarnate her. You know, your wife will be a giant, but you could have her.
She comes back as a halfling. Well, that's going to be a tight fit.
Yeah, now she's a dwarf named Bob.
Yes. So yeah, Hecaton wants to know if you will join him in this great quest to put an end to the doom of the desert.
Sure.
It is not the worst reason we've had to join a fight.
So, Hecaton, to get to the Anorak Desert, Hecaton is going to bring along four of his what he says are his bravest knights. Hold on, I will tell you who they are. Okay, so they are. Come on, come on, come on.
Are they basically the giant version of the Three Musketeers with D'Artagnan?
No, they are Nimir, Orlecto, Shaldor, and Vasha. Shall join you along with he and Sarissa in making their assault on the desert lair. Now, of course, this lair is in the Anauroch Desert. That's a long ways away. Their plan is that Hecaton and Sarissa and the four giants will ride rocks to the outside, just to the outskirts of the desert, and the rocks will then perch in desert crags while they make their way towards the lair on foot, attempting to catch Imrith by surprise. He tells you that you are more than welcome to join him in riding the rocks on this long journey.
Cool. Totally riding on his back like a little kid at Disneyland?
More or less. So what his idea is that he thinks it would be wisest that, of course, they're storm giants, so they're not going to be able to gain advantage by stealth. I mean, obviously, they're going to be seen. So he and Sarissa, along with their four lieutenants, will draw the fire of whatever forces Imrith has set down, while you, being the little folk, will sneak in from the rear entrance, is what his plan is. How does that sound to you?
Sounds great.
Yep.
So before we close for the week, Sarissa, first of all, she says, we're not going to send you in as you are. We are going to give you assistance. So the first thing that she does is she gives each of you 2 potions of greater healing. And to tell you what those do,
$44 plus 4.
correct. You get 2 of those each, and there's 4 additional for the 2 people that aren't here. And she gives you each 1 potion that you've never seen before. It is you each get a potion of giant size.
Cool.
So this, it's very similar to a potion of growth.
I can
Okay.
be 24. I can be a huge elf.
So when you drink this potion, you become huge for 24 hours if you're medium or smaller. Otherwise, the potion does nothing. For that duration, your strength becomes 25 if it isn't already higher, and your hit point maximum is doubled. Your current hit points are doubled when you drink the potion. In addition, the reach of your melee attack increases by 5 feet. Everything you are carrying and wearing also increases in size for the duration. When rolling damage for weapons enlarged in this manner, roll 3 times the normal damage for dice. For example, an enlarged longsword would deal 3d8 slashing damage instead of 1d8, or 3d10 slashing damage instead of 1d10 when used with 2 hands. When the effect ends, any hit points you have above your hit point maximum become temporary hit points. Potion is a pale white liquid made from the tongue of a giant clam with a pungent aroma akin to that of rotting algae. It tastes sweet, however, when consumed. And so it's up to you when you want to use that potion, but it's like he said, if you're coming in, you're going in the back way as they draw fire, so you might want to wait, you know, until it's absolutely needed. And it does take 1 action to quaff a potion, so, you know, you might want to wait until, you know, it hits the fan and you really need it.
Cool.
I'm going to be a huge elf.
Yes.
Myself ever.
And that is where we will break today, and we will pick up next week with the assault on the Doom of the Desert,
Cool.
which doesn't sound foreboding at all. This is a preview.
I think there's a fair chance I can be on for next week, but I'll have to see how staff does. But glad I got to refresh and catch up with the group.
Yes, it was good to have you back. But
I know C won't play with us, but I don't know if Brian will be available.
okay,
Yeah, she's in California. She won't be back until next Sunday.
oh, okay.
Yeah, that's why her and Brian didn't make it today. They just got into LA at 1 o'clock this morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, they left here at 9 a.m. and did a straight drive.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's rough. Yeah, that's a long drive.
Right. All right, guys. Well, thank you.
You're welcome. I will see you guys next week for the further adventures of Storm King's Thunder.
Take care.
Later.
Later. Have a good night.